Alright guys, TouchCover here back again today. Hope you're all enjoying your Tuesday so far. Great news, the CDL is back in action. In yesterday's video, I kind of teased at the fact that maybe we could be getting announcements sometime soon. I was expecting something this past weekend, to be honest, but the CDL does like to do announcements on Mondays. We haven't to find out now. So here we go, the league is back in action. Starts up this Friday, so very, very short notice indeed. Obviously not a problem for us fans, and the players have known for at least a couple of weeks, or at least a week and a bit, as we've been talking about with Censor and Scum. A couple of leaks coming out over the last week or so, but we are back in action. The scene effectively stays as it is from the professional side, but there are a few key interesting benefits to talk about here, and things that they're going for in the online side that we haven't seen in the LAN series, and hopefully that will improve the viewing experience. And I think it honestly is looking really, really good right now. The exhibition matches were very good, and I imagine what's taken a lot of time here really is figuring out exactly what to do with the challenges. And it must be said that the challengers seems to have stepped up their game significantly here. We might have a much better broadcasting experience for the challenges than we've seen so far this season, which is probably a change that we wouldn't have seen. It was kind of in motion. The league was just going as it is. We probably wouldn't have seen any benefits and any changes if the league could have stayed in an on-LAN environment. But here we are online. We have some benefits and some changes. So it's back this Friday, effectively in the same format as before. Not the absolute ideal godlike scenario I was talking about, where we got 12 teams every single weekend playing. It was all double elimination, all of this stuff. Effectively, the format is going to be the same, but instead of being over 2 days, the matches are going to be over 3 days, which in my opinion is better. It means that there's more time for people to get excited about the matches and watch them over multiple days, and you're not cramming things in and hoping the schedule works, and it gives you more room if anything goes wrong. So kind of like the idea of moving to a 3-day format, but all the matches we're going to have are exactly the same, and it does finish off with the same single elimination 4-team bracket format. But in my opinion, in an online environment, it's kind of better to have that. At least then you have one series that just decides everything, and that's it for that weekend. And then 2 weekends time, or 1 weekend time as it comes to be in the latter half of the season, we have something to happen. They have delayed the games quite significantly. This was going to be the second weekend, I think, just this past weekend gone, of 4 back-to-back weekends of Call of Duty action. Things are delayed quite a lot, and maybe that implies that the Call of Duty Championships could still be an on-LAN event later in the year. That's probably part of the reason why they've delayed things. But here we go from the Call of Duty League. So like if you guys enjoyed the video, subscribe if you're new as always, I would greatly appreciate it. This is what the schedule looks like here then. So Dallas Empire home series, as I said, one of the big considerations here for the CDL is making sure all the brands still get their brand acumen and they can present their brand to the world as if they were doing their own home series. So they're still branded as a Dallas Empire, a Chicago Huntsman, etc. home series, even though they're not being performed in any of those cities, right? But the premise still stands. That's probably one of the reasons why they've kept the schedule effectively for the games as it were. So Dallas this weekend, 2 weekends time, the Huntsman home series, that's going to be a big one. Mutineers 2 weekends after that, 2 weekends, Surge, Rocker, Paris Legion, and then things start getting closer together here. In July we have 3 back-to-back weekends at the New York, London and Toronto Ultra to finish things off. Then we have the World Championship, however that is going to be run. So quick clip from Methods here to get you guys in the mood.
Alright Gordon, you said 1 cup carrots. Hold on, let me call you back. I'm getting blown up. Hello? The league is back? The league is back.
And we have this explanation here from Jack Felling. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday, COD League broadcasts. Great to see, first of all, that the tournament format is retaining. I really thought for a while they were going to go to a league format, which I really wouldn't have liked. So it's great to see the tournament style. 5 new $1,000 Challenger Cups, deeper pricing, dedicated broadcast. I talked about how exactly are they going to figure out the pricing for the Challenger stuff. This is how they're going to do it. There's team opens as well, online challenges. They've got this gunfight circuit going on as well. There's some further discussion here about the Challengers team opens. This weekend there's one at Dallas Empire. You guys can sign up now. Saturday, Sunday, April 11 to 12, 10,000 or 10k, I guess that's pro points, $15,000 across NAEU APAC. Top 2 finish rule remains for these. So some really, really cool stuff for the Challenger side. But the real main thing is Challengers broadcasts, right? Dedicated broadcast on Sundays, which is great to see. This is a change that we were really asking for this entire season. It wasn't going to happen if the league didn't have this whole switch up that they've had to go through. So let's go through this article then that they released. They release a pretty detailed article on the Call of Duty website here. Everything will be linked down in the description box below. Earlier this league, the CoD League enjoyed an incredible launch, etc, etc, unprecedented global challenges of events. This weekend, the Dallas Home Series weekend will be broadcast live this Friday, Saturday and Sunday on our YouTube channel. Will feature 8 teams including including the Huntsmen, Dallas Empire, Florida Mutineers, Los Angeles Guerrillas, Minnesota Rocker, Paris Legion, Seattle Surge and Toronto Ultra. So no Atlanta FaZe this weekend, but next weekend or 2 weekends time, the Chicago Home Series that's been playing online and not in Chicago is going to have Atlanta FaZe. That has all the big dogs. So that's an exciting one. Also to keep in mind though, Los Angeles Guerrillas, like they showed us very, very recently here, this exhibition match, they're a real online force to be reckoned with, right? So that's something to keep your eyes on as well. It could be a difficult weekend for a lot of teams. In this new fully online format, players, team staff and personnel and production personnel will compete and work safely from locations of their choice. It preserves the same competitive fire that it's had, rivalries, play-by-play, good old-fashioned smack talk. Love to see Call of Duty promoting stuff like this because it's for the good of the scene, in my opinion. All 9 remaining Call of Duty League home series will be played Friday to Sunday. Will start at the same time each day. Fridays at 4 PM Eastern Time, Saturday at 1 PM Eastern Time, Sundays at 4 PM Eastern Time. So not great for us over in the UK. That means that the grand finals on the Sunday night are going to be starting at midnight. So they're going to finish at about 1:30 in the morning. Not ideal that everything is going to be played on the same time schedule. It's kind of nice that sometimes you have West Coast events that you can barely watch at all. Sometimes you have East Coast, which is kind of good in terms of timing. But you know, it is what it is. You can't, beggars can't be choosers, right? And then we have this, right? So I did just mention here how it's possible the World Championship may still be on LAN. And as we see here, additional details about the 2020 CoD League Championship weekends will be released at a later time. For our aspiring path to pro community, that's the Challenger side, team-hosted Challengers events, which did used to go on at the event itself alongside the main pro stuff, will now take place online in conjunction with Teams Home Series weekends and will feature dedicated tournaments across North America, Europe, and the Asia-Pacific region. We did talk about this on the Spitfire podcast. We thought, okay, are they even going to go for like ANZ region? Like how much funding do they have to go for that? Of course, they had so much money invested into challenges this year. Like I think it's $1 million something over the course of the season, if not plus. So definitely they could afford it and they have done. So there is an APAC region stuff. The league will also produce 5 dedicated 2-day challenges events, 50,000 US in prizing. So in addition to the tournament weekends, they also have $50,000 prizing with that dedicated Sunday stream. To our understanding, the Dallas Open, the Dallas Empire Challengers Open will take place this Saturday, etc, etc, and then the first of the 5 tournaments will take place the next weekend. So that's really good to see actually. So not only do we get the Dallas Empire home series for the pros and the amateurs this weekend, but the weekend after, in the off weekends between 2 pro series events, we have the amateur bracket with a dedicated Sunday broadcast to keep us entertained, right? So there's going to be Call of Duty professional stuff, I mean, not necessarily professional, but some good Call of Duty to watch pretty much every single weekend. Lastly, they're continuing with this 2v2 gunfight thing. Not exactly sure what's going on here, but each Call of Duty franchise team may choose to nominate their representing duo or qualify them through online competition. So something to keep in mind for sure. Just wanted to mention this as well then as the next thing to talk about. So in addition to this article, as you can see down here, for more details about our shift to online play, go here. This turned out to be a Q&A effectively, so some questions, not quite an FAQ. I don't think everyone's asking these questions, but definitely some good questions in here. And of course, I'll leave everything linked down below. Wanted to bring up 2 of the most crucial things, I think, here. Dedicated servers and player counts, as you can see by this tweet. This is the first one to mention. As I said, there's plenty of questions in this article that you guys can run through and check out, but these were the key ones that I wanted to focus on. So this is it. Dedicated servers. I got the chance last night to play on some of the new Game Battles integration, dedicated, apparently 60 Hz dedicated servers in that. And so people were talking about at the time when this first came out and when they first released this about a week or so ago, is it the case that they're going to be running this and they've pushed this through Infinity Ward super quickly to make sure the league can be run on these dedicated servers? It does seem like that is the case. How is the league mitigating potential online issues such as server latency? Our partners at the studios, Infinity Ward for example, have worked tirelessly with our internal technology teams to establish and test new dedicated servers around the country, which will allow us to create the fairest environment possible for Call of Duty League matches. Funny how it's like a world league, but it's just around the country. But regardless, we have been testing these servers in collaboration with our players as we continue to optimize the solution and minimize latency for the different match variations we may see in home series tournament format. So dedicated servers, potentially even 60 Hz servers, as we've heard rumors that they apparently are. Not heard any official testing on that yet, so who knows, but dedicated servers effectively means that it's a neutral host. So instead of one of the players or one of the observers or whatever having to host, an external server will host the server, so there really shouldn't be any issues. The server should be a much higher quality, shouldn't be any latency issues particularly, and also it should be a neutral location for every single player. So definitely a really good situation to have dedicated servers in. But this was the second one as well about player cams, which I thought was a really cool idea. So will the broadcast tools for online events replicate the LAN event? And Paradox was saying it's going to be even better, if not, or like similar, if not even better than it is on LAN. Very similar experience to what is shown during LAN events. Outside of gameplay, there will be some changes, of course, because you can't have the cameras overviewing everything, but that is what it is. Probably means that we don't have that stupid 3-camera angle where you're looking at Kambo on 3 different screens at the same time because they've, shuffled things together like we were watching Black Ops 2 CoD all over again. But this is the cool one. They seem to have sent pretty much all the broadcasters, so the observers and the casters, all of those guys, the same type of thing. You can see they've got that Call of Duty League background behind them. If you watch the exhibition matches, Maven and Merk casting and whatever, they have all the same thing behind them. And it seems that maybe the players have got those as well. We are working hard now to send every player a custom standalone camera that will provide the broadcast team a direct feed. So this must be incredibly hard to work out in terms of bandwidth and all of that stuff. Getting player cameras from every single player, broadcasting them live on the stream, that's tough to do. But if they can make it work, really, really cool. This requires a lot of hardware and logistics, obviously, to cover every player in the league playing from home. We hope to have this available for the fans at the start of the first online home series tournament, so possibly available this weekend, but maybe it might need a little bit more setting up. So just to finish here with then, I wanted to look at exactly what is going on this weekend, the Dallas home series, starting at Friday, 4 PM Eastern. Everything now starts at the same time, so it's pretty easy for you guys. 4 PM Eastern, I guess that's, 1 PM Pacific time. Then in the UK, it starts like 9 PM our time, 10 PM in Central Europe, etc., etc. So now everything's at the same time. Kind of good to see. So this is what's going on. This is this weekend's tournament. Group B is Seattle Surge, Paris Legion, Chicago Huntsmen and Minnesota Rocker, and Group A being the Mutineers, Ultra, Dallas Empire and Los Angeles Guerrillas. Seattle Surge, Paris Legion, of course, I'll do predictions on these in coming days. One thing I did want to mention here though is that Los Angeles Guerrillas, an online team, they could be pretty scary. Like this group on paper should be Dallas and Mutineers, I suppose, but honestly I fancy Guerrillas getting out of this one in second place, just because they can be so damn good online. And then this group, Chicago Rockers, an interesting matchup as well, so have to see how this one develops. But just to say, this is the rest of the matches, so these are the matches that are going on the Friday effectively. 2 of these on Saturday in my time, but it's early morning, so these are the Friday games. Then on the Saturday we have 6 matches all through the rest of the groups to decide who's going to get out in the top 4. And then on the Sunday, 3 matches to finish things off here then. So 9 PM my time, 10:30 PM, the 2 semi-finals and the grand final. So they've kept it kind of simple. No special double elimination stuff outside of the GSL, technically double elimination groups. But into the grand finals, effectively it's just a best of 1 series or best of 5 series. 1 series, winner takes all. And I kind of like that online, given there's always going to be some randomness and some variation. Don't necessarily need to go crazy with the amount of eliminations, just because, there's plenty of opportunities to win these. There's 9 of them still to go. So just to finish here then, this is the Chicago Huntsman weekend just after. This is going to be a big one. April 24th now, Royal Ravens, FaZe, Empire and Huntsman. This is the big one. On paper, we should get Huntsman FaZe here finally. Like if you guys enjoyed the video, leave all your thoughts down in the comment section below. Thanks for watching as always. I will see you next time.